Friends, Romans, and Patriots, lend me your ears and strap on your tinfoil hats because it's time for the Gay Frog Chat. The Gay Frog Chat is a weekly podcast where we go chin deep into a different conspiracy. This week, we're going to be talking about this motherfucker right here, Don motherfucking Lemon, getting charged with the KKK Act on fucking Martin Luther King Day. That's how you know we live in a fucking in a
America.
Well, I was gonna say a simulation, but it's fine. It's fine. How's it going, everybody? How's it going, Leo? How you doing, man?
This week been a good week, actually. Surprise.
Yeah, at the job, you don't hate it as much.
It's been nice and smooth,
bro. I
still hate it,
job,
but it's okay.
I have two jobs now because my job has not been making enough money, so now I have two. But the second job is kind of cool because it's like a catering type thing where I can just pick up shifts whenever I want to or whenever I need to. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm right there with you. I hate my fucking job. Winchworm, what's up, man?
Oh, not a whole lot. Getting ready for the next off-roading season and wrenching on shit.
That's cool, man. Yeah, dude, I'm kind of jealous. I wish that I had some sort of four-wheel vehicle to go off-roading with. I mean, I guess I have the two-wheel kind, so.
Well, for $250 for a 4-day weekend per seat, you can come on up to Northeast Ohio and do it.
I know there's some Ohio people out there. Maybe Mr. Ohio Patriot would be interested. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of which, Mr. Ohio Patriot, how's it going?
Oh, better this week. I was super, super high last Tuesday. So
nice. Everybody had a good week this week. Cool.
You were super, super high for an entire week?
No, just last Tuesday. I ended up getting super high and then fell asleep. And by the time I woke up, you guys had already finished. So
yeah, I've done that one before. That's for sure. That's okay. Mr. Lawfully Armed is here. What's up, man?
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. So I thought we would watch this little 44-second video before we get into anything and see what you guys had to say about it. Are you ready? All right.
A certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice, but I think that they're entitled, and that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy. And they think that this country was built for them, that it is a Christian country, when actually we left England because we wanted religious freedom. It's religious freedom, but only if you're a Christian and only if you're a white male, pretty much. And so, yeah, I absolutely 100%, but it's an intimidation tactic. And, I said, I don't understand how I've become the face of it when I was a journalist. I do understand that I'm the biggest name there. And I'm also, as I was on with my producers this morning, you and Kylie talk all the time. My producers were saying, I said, how did I become the face of this? And my producer said, Don, you're a gay black man in America. And
so there he goes, victim blaming, and then judo fucking turning the shit around to make it so that he is actually the victim of the white supremacists inside of the church that he invaded. And by the way, if you watch the video, there's several children who are being comforted by their parents because they're crying and afraid of the mob of people that Don Lemon brought into the church with him. So however he wants to turn this around, however he wants to try to make himself the victim and actually everyone else is white supremacist, and those people in that church probably deserved way worse than what we did. I mean, what we did was actually nice. We're the good guys, right? Well, I think he's about to find out. He fucked around. Now he's going to find out from the federal government. Anyway, I thought that was interesting, and I wanted to know what you guys had to think, say, etc. about the subject.
Don Lemon is like that meme where the guy is riding the bicycle, then he pulls out a stick and puts it in his wheel, and he crashes and says, fuck white people.
Yeah.
That's him right now. It's your own fault you did it. Didn't want to blame white supremacy for it for some reason.
Yeah, exactly. He's just a race baiter.
Oh, what's up, Mr.
he's also a
Souls
sexual
Ginger, by the way?
assaultist too.
What's up, Honda? How you doing, bro?
Good, man.
Long time no see or talk.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying there, Ohio?
I said Lemon is also a sexual assaultist. He literally pushed his hands down his pants and then shoved his like dick hands in some guy's face a couple years ago. Should have got arrested for that one.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember hearing about it.
I mean, that's usually my go-to pickup line also. So
Daylina 2 says Don Lemon is gay. The Bible says gayness is a sin. It's true. It does say that it is a sin.
This is true.
But it's no worse than any other sin, you know? And like that's kind of the thing about sin when it comes to the Bible. It's like no sin is worse. I don't really agree with that when you think about like, oh yeah, like not blessing your food before you eat it or something. You know, is that a sin? I'm not sure. You know, like something small like that.
Saying grace.
Versus like raping a child. Like, yes, those are both sins, I guess. But I don't really hold them to be equal. But then again, I'm not the Lord, so I don't know. I'm not sure.
You can escape man's justice, but you won't escape God's justice.
Certainly the gaslighting, if you know what that means, like the telling people that what they know is true is not true, and actually the opposite of that is true, that Don Lemon does. That's the thing that really gets me. Because he'll listen to someone say like a bunch of things that make a bunch of sense about something, and then like completely ignore it and be like, well, but what would Jesus? Oh my God, dude, I can't even. You know, and it's blatantly obvious, and I don't know how people who are on the left see someone like Don Lemon and think that he is genuous at all. He is disingenuous, if anything.
It is lemon, right? Like the fruit.
Yes.
Don Lemon.
Oh man, we are at the limit of number of people in here right now of 6 because I no longer pay for StreamYard. 1, 2, 3, yeah.
Oh.
We have someone in the backdrop. I mean, if you hang out, maybe someone will step out or something later.
Who's
Sorry,
back
dude.
there?
Autonomous.
I can step out for a while and let someone else in. I don't know that name, so
You don't have to, Corey. It's all good. I mean, you know, if you want to, it's fine, but you don't have to.
okay, I'll give it a few minutes and then let him in.
All right, cool. So yeah, I mean, like this whole thing with the church, and I was thinking about this. Like, I was racking my brain for any other time that any group of people has gone into a church uninvited and like disrupted services or intimidated people or anything like that. And I was thinking, I can't think of a time that happened. And maybe I'm just missing it. Maybe I'm not remembering. But do you guys remember a time that anyone has gone into a church and did what they did in that church?
Well, didn't that gay so-called pastor, which he wasn't a pastor, when Trump got inaugurated, I mean, after he became president, when he went to church, would that be an example?
Wait, what happened? I'm sorry. I missed what you said.
That lesbian wannabe pastor, after Trump got inaugurated and sworn in, he went to church. What was it, like the first thing he did when he became president again? And it stirred. It's a big controversy.
I mean, as far as having a big quote unquote journalist, air quotes, as someone like Don Lemon being part of a protest and just randomly busting into a church and protesting.
I get it. I missed yeah. My bad. I misunderstood the question.
The only thing I can think of is when you had Newsom in California during the lockdown suppress people from going to church. Would be the closest thing.
Yes.
Well, that happened in several places.
I know, but that was the biggest one I can think of. That is what it is California.
Yeah, one in like Canada and Australia too. They were like arresting the preachers and stuff.
Yeah, I remember Australia. They arrest people just for going to the beach.
Dude, that is true. That's funny because like there was a quote from Tim Waltz when he was talking about Trump being like becoming president. So it was from a couple of months ago or whatever, like a year ago.
Uh-huh.
And he was like talking about how people like Trump will send their Gestapo. I forget exactly how he put it, but they would send their troops into places like churches because that's the kind of people that they are. Meanwhile, who's actually gone into to the churches? Well, the two examples that we've thought of so far, number one, obviously, is Don Lemon and the Black Lives Matter protesters that were organized and so it's that group. And then the other group are Gavin Newsom's Democrat-run fucking state police going into churches, and also Justin Trudeau in Canada going into churches and arresting preachers and priests for practicing their religion.
Yep.
Both of which are wrong, both of which are perpetrated by the left. While at the same time, they're like, oh, when Donald Trump gets in, this is what he's going to do because that's the kind of people they are. Well, literally the only people doing that, it's like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Maybe that kid in Canada should have followed through with this plan back in 2020. That actor that was supposed to, he was a Netflix actor and starred on Supernatural for an episode, but he had a plot against killing Trudeau in 2020.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, never heard that.
I was gonna say, speaking of government thuggery, did you guys see that stuff with the mayor of Miami Beach sending cops to people's houses because they were criticizing his ass?
No.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, they were trying to arrest him over like mean tweets and stuff, and I'm just like, you guys realize this is America, right?
Right. That's a very British thing to do.
Lit on Steel says the Klan used to interrupt black church services and also burn them down. So it's just Democrats being historically Democrats.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I didn't think about that either, but that is absolutely true. And then who else is like going into churches and causing violence? Not in groups, but individually. We have those like trans shooter people. There was like one of them who went into a church. There was another that went into like a Catholic school.
Well, like Christian school, Catholic school,
something like that. So that's not a church, but kind of.
That's the one.
The most overlooked.
Go ahead.
The most overlooked aspect of the left is their projection. They call us Nazis while they are National Socialists that focus on race-based politics.
Very true.
Well, I mean, that's a Saul Alinsky tactic. Saul Alinsky wrote Rules for Radicals. Saul Alinsky was Hillary Clinton's favorite professor while she was in college. Rules for Radicals basically spells out how to overthrow a government and put your own government in its place. And it's like a playbook of how to do it, of specifically gaslighting and projecting. Because like one of the rules specifically is accuse your opponent of that which you are guilty. That way, when they accuse you of the thing that you've already accused them of, it looks ridiculous, even though you were guilty. I mean, that's not the verbatim rule, but that's what it is. You accuse, it's like, we're going to be doing some Nazi shit in the Democrat Party, right? We're going to be doing some Nazi shit. So what we're going to do is, you see, we're going to paint the other side as Nazis. And that way, when we do our Nazi shit, not only are we doing it to the Nazis, which most people are going to, but when they call us Nazis, we can laugh at them because we've already Nazis.
Here's the direct comparison to, and exactly why I brought this up. They say that ICE agents are doing paper pleas while they stop a journalist and force him to get out of his SUV and prove that he's a journalist, in essence doing the paper pleas. Papers, please.
I was thinking about this too, right? Oh, ICE wears masks and therefore they're okay. Why does ICE wear mask? Everyone knows, right? Anyone chime in. Why does ICE wear masks?
To stop doxing.
Right. Because if they don't wear a mask, then they're going to have their 16-year-old daughter attacked at her high school, or their wife fired from work for some bullshit, or whatever the case is.
Or stalked and followed, potentially harmed.
Well, the thing was, even the ICE agent that shot that Renee Good woman, his entire extended family was threatened with death by these leftists.
So, case in point, right? Like, why do they wear masks? Well, it's to protect their families because they have a job to do, like it or not, agree with it or not. The reason that they're covering their faces is to protect their family, not themselves from prosecution because they're breaking the law. But do you know who is wearing masks to protect themselves from prosecution because they're breaking the law?
Antifa.
The very people who were screaming in the face of these mask wearing ICE agents, right? Like, how dare you wear a mask, while they're screaming that from behind a mask, you know? And it's like, okay, yeah, they're a federal agent. They shouldn't be wearing a mask. You know who else wears masks? Not our government. In Mexico.
Mexican. Yep.
Why do the police in Mexico who go after cartels wear masks?
So they won't murder their family, their entire family.
Kind of the same reason, except for a little bit more extreme, right?
That
Yep.
or like that one instance, what was like a year or two ago, where those federales were in their car and they just got fucking lit up like a Christmas tree by one of the cartels and left there. And then
In
you got
fact, if you are a police officer in Mexico who fights against the cartels, it is so imperative that you protect your identity to the protection of your family and extended family that it's like top secret shit, dude. Like, they will not let anyone know who they are. You know, like anyone outside of the group, no cameras, no nothing ever. And if they do, they're done. If you find if their identities are publicly found out for whatever reason, they're no longer a police officer. Why? Oh, because if they do, then they risk their entire family being chopped up like fucking butchered like pigs. And that's it's not exactly what they would do to them in America yet.
Yet, right? I'm gonna say that yet.
Yeah.
But it's certainly where things are headed. And certainly if you want your daughter to have a good time in high school, maybe everyone shouldn't know that her father's an ICE agent. And maybe that's why he wears a mask.
I mean, after Charlie Kirk, anything is possible with these crazies.
Yeah, and these same people that are like screaming at the top of their lungs how inhumane the ICE agents are and how Gestapo and Nazi-like everybody is and this and that were the same ones who were jumping up in their seats and cheering and making memes and cartoons and t-shirts about Charlie Kirk getting fucking shot in his fucking throat in front of his kids.
Have you ever stopped to consider where they're actually getting these people from? We're talking about undocumented immigrants, right? What documents are we using to actually get them? It's the child sex offender list and other documents at which they've actually been let off. That's why these leftists are losing their fucking mind, because they voted to put these district attorneys in that would let these people off, and now all of a sudden we're coming in and giving them their consequences.
So we're also seeing just how bad it is too, because you already have Minnesota losing a congressional seat over how many illegals were already removed.
So that kind of brings us to Jake Lang and what happened to him and his team. And to be fair and to be honest, I don't really know very much about Jake Lang. Beyond what I've learned since this incident, I certainly didn't know anything about him before. He's a January 6th defendant, one of the people who was pardoned by Trump, who's become outspoken, I think before he got arrested, but certainly after as well, politically, and has created a social media profile for himself that probably earns enough money for him to travel around and do stuff. And I don't see how that's good or bad or whatever. I'm kind of neutral on it, right? It's fine. He had publicly planned to go to Minneapolis to publicly burn a Quran, which when I hear that, I'm kind of like, fuck yeah, brother. You know what I mean? You know, like, don't know anything about him, don't know his other politics, but a guy who's going to Minneapolis in the midst of this thing to burn a Quran, number one, you got some balls, brother. You do, because like that kind of thing gets you targeted, as we will watch here in just a moment. But number two, like I kind of agree with it, man. Like, the Muslim population of the world is kind of a problem wherever they're at, and no matter which country they're in. And we have let a whole bunch of them into our country, and now we're having problems. It's weird.
Well,
So-
in UK, just about every high position in the government's filled with one.
Well,
You go
and
through
we
and
have
look.
this thing in America called the freedom of speech, right? And it's something that a lot of people from other countries, especially illegals who move here, don't understand because they don't have that where they come from. And so when we do things in America, like burn the flag or burn the Bible or burn the Quran, it's perfectly legal. There is no law against that whatsoever. However, third worlders get real fucking upset when you do something like that and don't understand why the government won't step in. And because the government won't step in, they turn into fucking Batman. You know, they turn into the vigilante who's going to take care of justice themselves. And here's the thing about Islam that I really don't like, because, like, you know, it's only a couple percent of the people who are actually out there committing terrorism. But the problem is, it's like 70% of the population of people who believe in Islam are okay with terrorism. But they wouldn't do it themselves. But when, you know, Johnny Somali does it, they're fucking cool with it, you know, or whoever, right?
Yeah.
They're not speaking out against it, which means they kind of agree with it, which means that they're kind of supporting it. Even if they're not directly, they are. And that's kind of the same thing with the leftists and this violence. They get all outraged when the person gets shot who tries to run over, arguably, the police officer, right? And gets shot 3 times. Like,
Mhm.
you know, however you feel about that, well, they're really upset. But then when someone who they ideologically disagree with gets beaten in the street, almost murdered, and probably would have been if not for one particular person who protected him, they're cheering for it. They're supporting it. They're okay with it. Like 60%, 70%. There's probably some leftists who see this kind of violence and are disgusted by it, rightfully. But I would argue that the way that the Democrat Party is going, if you're disgusted by that violence, you're not going to be part of the Democrat Party for much longer, you know? Because it's got to be like all or nothing. Like if you're not down with the program, you're out. Because that's how communism works. You know, like the people in the gulags, that's the Russian prisons during communism.
Yeah.
The worst offenders you would think would be the murderers and, you know, the rapists and the, you know, the career criminals, like the mafia types. But no, according to the government, the worst criminals were the people who spoke out against the government, the thought criminals, the ones who would infect others with their thoughts of dissidence. And so in the prisons, they put the hard criminals in charge of things like the mafia types so that they would punish the thought criminals, the speech criminals, the people like me in Russia at the time who would have gone out and said things that the government didn't like and been arrested for it.
Hey, Honda, go ahead and get that other guy in. I'm going to go ahead and step out for him.
I think he split. So don't worry about it. Anyway, let's watch this video here, hey?
Hey, go, bro, we go. Just go. Just go. Let him go, y'all.
This is a compilation video, by the way. See, and like this is the type of shit also real quick. Like when Tim Waltz or Ilhan Omar goes on TV and talks about the protests and how proud that they are, of how peaceful that they are, and how good that the citizens are there to stand against the federal government and do the things they're doing and how beautiful it is. When things like this happen and they don't directly call it out and they say how wonderful and peaceful it is and how amazing it is, what they're really doing is calling for more of this. They're saying to these people, everything that you did so far is okay. Everything that you did so far is good, in fact. So do more of it and maybe go a little further next time. And we'll see. And we'll talk then. We'll see if that's too far or if, you know, just go a little bit further. That's what they're saying. And that's what these people are hearing. And that's what these people are going to do. And sooner or later, And I think sooner than later, someone is going to die. Someone is going to get shot. Someone's going to get stabbed. Someone's going to get beaten to death. And more than likely, it's going to be someone wearing a MAGA hat or an American flag of some kind or an ICE agent would be the worst case. And then where did things go from there? They escalate. And so then now it's the government is like, well, they're killing people. And so they're going to come in with more force, which then the left and the media and the people are going to be like, oh, look how Nazi they are. They're getting super Nazi now. Look, they sent more Nazis here. We got to fight against the Nazis. And then people are going to be like, well, we're going to fight against the Nazis. And they're going to go in there and then someone else is going to get killed. And that time it's going to be on their side because they're fighting against the Nazis. And now one of the police shoots them. And so now it's like, oh, well, now we have like a whole fuck ton of people who come in because the Nazis killed one of the protesters and he was just a protester. Look, she was just a mom. She was just a mom in the middle of this riot for some reason with her kids in the fucking back seat. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people that you just look past all this shit? Because they don't care about truth. I'll answer my own question. They don't care about truth. They care about ideology. They care about winning. And right now, they've lost the election, so they have to deny the election, and they have to go out on the streets and say, oh, we're fighting against the Nazis, and they have to go into churches and say, these people are white supremacists. They think that they have privilege. We're going to take away that privilege from them. And unless the government comes down and smashes this shit immediately, it's only going to get worse. And I think that's the only way that it gets better, is if they put the foot down on Karen's fucking face so fucking hard that the rest of the Karens look at it and say, oh, God, I don't want to do that. Anyway, that was my rant. Let's watch the rest of the video. Dude is lucky to be alive, bro. That black dude saved his life, by the way.
Let him go. Hey, go, bro. Go. Just go. Just go. Let him go, y'all. Let him go.
This is kind of what they did to Jesus, isn't it? Not that this guy's like tantamount to Jesus or he's that good.
Right, no. But yeah, I get what you're, yeah.
You know, like while he was carrying a cross, they were following him and throwing rocks at him and yelling and screaming and spitting on him and stuff, you know? Wow. Yeah, that guy's lucky to be alive. And, you know, had he died, had the mob of people beaten him to death, Don Lemon or whoever else, you know, the leftist mainstream media fucking pundit talking heads would be spinning their fucking webs of lies to cover for that mob and to say actually how it's a good thing. And here's all of this things that this guy has done and said that's bad that makes him a Nazi and why they're like justifying the fucking murder of this Nazi, you know, like that's what they would have done. And since they didn't do that, since he got out alive, well, they're still painting him as a Nazi. They're still painting him as, you know, someone who deserved the beating that he got. And, you know, like the rest of you should look out too. This is perfectly normal. This is normal behavior. And it's not normal behavior. This is not how we do things in America. This is not what Martin Luther King taught us, right? Martin Luther King, Gandhi. There's people in our culture's history, and Gandhi's not in our culture, but, you know, in the circle that have taught us that the way to actually move the needle is to peacefully protest, isn't to get into people's faces and scream and yell and call them names. It's to speak the truth and to get people on your side and to do it in a peaceful way. So that way, when you are targeted by the police, when you are targeted by whoever, then yes, they are absolutely the Nazis because you weren't doing anything, violent. But as long as you're violent, you give every opportunity for governments to like come in and smash you down, which they will. And then to say, oh, look how the government's smashing us down, which is why they're doing it. So that they can continue to move the ball down the field, so that they can continue to fool people into thinking that, oh, actually the things that you see are reversed. The good guys you see are the ones who are going into churches and wearing masks and making children cry and killing people in the street. Those are the good guys. And the bad guys are the ones who were trying to go after these rapists and criminals and get them out of the country. Which, by the way, God damn it, I'm talking a lot tonight. 70%, 75% of the people that ICE has arrested have been people who have previous criminal charges. And some of them might be DUIs and stuff, sure. But a lot of them are like, oh, you were convicted of a murder in El Salvador. You're wanted for a murder here. You're convicted of child rape. You're accused of this or whatever. You know what I mean? And it's like, we don't want these people here. And objectively, if anyone was being truthful, they don't want them here either. But they're out in the street, Karens fucking throwing themselves in the fucking machine so that they can protect fucking child rapists. And it just doesn't make sense, dude. It doesn't make sense until you realize that everyone is just being a fool. They're not seeing what's going on. They don't understand. They haven't spent the time to understand. It's a complicated situation. And once you see it, and it, but if you don't see it, then they can put whatever picture they want in front of your eyes and you might believe it. Yeah, here's a picture of his sorry, gore. Anyone who doesn't like it, too bad. High school students at anti-ICE rally in Minneapolis just made amazing ad for deportations. So yeah, these are a bunch of high school students who showed up at a riot, basically in Minneapolis, and are fighting ICE agents. And then everyone's outraged that someone arrested some high school students who were ICE arrested high school students that are American citizens, right? Like that's the headline, and that's when people see that they're like, "Oh my God, did you know that ICE is going into high schools and arresting American citizens?" And it's like, no, dude, that's not what's happening. Actually, if you look into it, blah 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 blah, and then they just turn off their fucking brain and ears and don't listen to you. All they hear is blah 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 blah.
Yeah, brainwashing.
Because that's not what is happening. This is high school students who were showing up to a rally and physically fighting with ICE agents, and then some of them get arrested, and then that's the headline is, oh, American citizen high school students get arrested by ICE, and then everyone like fills in the blanks and says, and then there's no correcting that. Like, how do you correct that? I don't know. It just deepens the divide. It deepens the chasm between the two sides. Because every time that they go out and gaslight and lie and tell half-truths and tell innuendos that people like lead people to believe things that aren't true, every time they do that, the chasm gets wider.
Yep. That's like, I'm pretty sure nothing was done about the ICE agent that was shot by that sniper in Texas, remember? At the ICE detention center. One of them was shot in the neck and a couple other guards were shot at.
Oh, yeah. Like, wait, didn't he kill like one of the people he was trying to,
Yeah.
fighting for? Right.
Yeah.
He shot more illegal immigrants than he did ICE agents.
Yeah. Right. Oh, he actually killed one, right?
I know he killed a guard because he shot the guard in the neck.
I don't think he killed a guy. I think he killed one of the illegals.
Yeah, that's the way I remember it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Anyway, here's more doctors and scientists stealing rifles out of the back of FBI vehicles.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Turns out that the one guy with the tattoos on his face who got a hold of the rifle actually was some sort of career criminal, illegal alien, blah blah blah. When they found him and arrested him, they were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Got another one.
I think they were Latin Kings, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was a Latin Kings member.
Yeah.
So, similar to Fast and Furious, they gave illegals guns.
Man, he fucking really fucked up. Showed his face, drove away in his car with his license plate on it. Like, yep, you made yourself easy to find.
And the only thing I was
They never said criminals were actually smart.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say that the only thing I was thinking was, if you need to sell that rifle, I'm right here. If you
Turns out
quickly.
John Podesta. You remember John Podesta? That would be
Yes.
I think that was the Obama's administration's. I forget what he did for them. What did he do?
He was a buddy of Hillary Clinton's.
Yeah. But he did something for the Obamas too. He was in their cabinet or something. Anyway, John Podesta's friend who debunked Pizzagate. Now, you guys remember Pizzagate, of course, was that place called Comet Pizza in Washington, D.C. that supposedly had all of this like child pornography type artwork on the wall. Not like pornography, but it was like
the Instagram pictures. No, it was like the Instagram pictures, picture like a bunch of children in these weird type of photos.
And then pizza, like when they're okay. So here's another one. You guys remember in the emails, the Hillary Clinton emails, when they're talking about cheese pizza, and I like mine with anchovies, and we're getting $20,000 worth of pizza delivered to the party.
Yeah, and Obama had $40,000 in hot dogs.
Bro, I don't know what that was. I know what people say it is, but I know this for sure. They're talking in code. Yeah. Whatever pizza is, it's not pizza. Whatever hot dogs is, it's not hot dogs.
Well, it's in the FBI report stating that is code for like depending on like little boy or little girl.
Yeah,
I don't remember which
one.
Well,
no, there's more evidence to suggest that it's actually code for drugs, but either way, where are the 20,000 missing Haitian children? That's all I want to know. Like, don't let us be distracted. There are at least 3 good questions that have not been answered over the past 20 years that we've been distracted from.
Yeah,
and one of them is
all the Haitian money that the Clinton Foundation squandered that was supposed to go to Haiti.
No, what happened to the 20,000 Haitian children?
I know. It's right there with it.
So anyway, John Podesta's friend who debunked Pizzagate, quote unquote, was arrested for raping toddlers.
Oh,
no.
That's weird.
Don't believe
So I was thinking about this. Like, why do all these leftists think that the right is so insane?
Stevie Wonder saw that coming.
Why do they think that people who the MAGA group are so insane? And it's things like this. And it's not that we're insane. It's that reality is so insane and that they don't want to face it. When we have things like Pizzagate and Epstein Island and this whole conspiracy of, and like when you talk to a leftist about Epstein Island, for instance, what are they upset about? Oh, they're upset that the girls got raped and the girls are the victims here. And that's the problem, is that the girls are the victims. And yes, that's a problem. But if that's your analysis of it, then you're a functional retard. Because the actual problem of Epstein Island is not that girls got raped. Oh, that's so bad. It's the fact that the richest and most powerful people in the world participated in the raping of those children and have dirt on them now and are controlled now and have done things that they wouldn't have done otherwise because of that. And that's the real problem, because that affects everybody, because they get to move agendas down the pipeline that they wouldn't get to do otherwise because people would be against it. But since you've got the richest, most powerful people in the world with dirt on them, you get to shove whatever you want down everyone's throats. And that's the real problem. And if you actually explain this to someone who isn't into this, who's just a normie or on the left, and you're like, actually, like Pizzagate's probably real or something going on there, and there's this island where all these people were doing stuff, and they've got the richest, most powerful people in the world to fucking do stuff with kids, and now they control them. They're looking at you like, oh yeah, and where's Bigfoot, you know? And that's it. It's just they can't wrap their head around this, and maybe it's that they're too stupid, and maybe it's that they're too afraid to actually face it, but maybe, just maybe, it's that the reality of what we're dealing with sounds so insane that most people's bullshit filter just says, no, that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, how you guys liking the show tonight?
Why not?
Good.
Oh, are you talking to us or the chat?
Everybody.
Yeah, it's great.
All right. Well, we have 800,000 voters found to be improperly registered to vote in Oregon. So Oregon's voter rolls seem to be out of order. And it seems like most states that are run by Democrats, because Trump put it out to everybody like, hey, we need to like look at your voter rolls because we need to clean these up because the way that elections in this country work are not working. People don't believe it. We need to clean things up and make it better. And pretty much every single Democrat state is fighting it tooth and nail. They don't want the Trump administration to get a hold of their voter rolls. They don't want them to become public. They're protecting them. They're suing the Trump administration to keep them secret so that they don't have to show them. And if you ask me, that just shows that they're all fraud. They're all fucking fake. It's all
crooked as the day is long.
It's all exactly what it looks like.
They already stole Virginia and New Jersey last year.
Well, and the thing is, if they don't get that done by midterms, like what happens if the Democrats gain the majority in the midterms? Well, then the next 2 years of Trump's presidency are just going to be mired in accusations and fucking impeachments, and everything's going to be held up, and nothing else is going to get done. You know, nothing else significant is going to get done.
It's going to be his first term all over again.
These midterms are the most important midterms I can remember, because if Trump is interrupted in the middle of this, then the country's lost. Like, he needs to fucking start moving. He needs to start shaking. He needs to start getting shit done fast.
Agreed.
Because if he doesn't, we're fucked too. So there's two ways we get fucked right now. Number one, we lose in the midterms and they stop Trump. Number two, Trump isn't going fast enough right now, and he needs to pick up the pace. And again, when it comes to the deportations, I think he's going too hard. I think that there are things that he could maybe not go so hard on and concentrate on some other things. I think switching up the strategy of how to get rid of people would be smart, to like give people incentives and continue going after people who are criminals, right? To get the rapists and the murderers and the whoever out of this country and continue to do that. But for like I don't want to see them showing up to Home Depot, I guess is my point. I don't want to see them showing up to a restaurant and arresting all the cooks. I don't want to see them doing that kind of, because that's not what I voted for. I don't know what you guys voted for. And I know Corey has his opinions on this, and that's fine. But I'd never voted for that. Since day one, since before Trump even got elected the second time, I said, that's not what I want. And that's not what we were promised. We were promised that they would go after the criminals first. And there's so many criminals in this country that I think they've got 4 years of work to get rid of them, you know?
My biggest problem with Trump, Pam Bondi, etc. right now, and really Pam Bondi needs to get off her ass and either indict people or get the fuck out of the way and resign as AG and let somebody come up who actually will do that job. Because if they don't get shit done in the next couple of months, these people are going to be able to vote in primaries that are actual terrorists in this country.
Yeah. Yeah, I've held my tongue quite a bit here up to this point. I like the idea that Trump may go too far or whatever. It's kind of laughable, to be honest with you. I mean, Obama deported 10 million. We're at 1.5 million this current presidency. And these are undocumented immigrants. So you have to ask yourself, where are they actually getting the documentation from to figure out where these people are? They're going through the attorney generals that have decided they're not going to press charges, and they start with the child predators and then work their way on up, which is why you've seen every single person that there's a news story about is a child predator, because these are undocumented immigrants and we're only going after the documented incidents of them being pieces of shit.
Delina says, "Daddy Trump needs to go harder." Again, I think about it like this, right? Like, what's because of how many people are here, because of how many people Obama didn't get rid of, and how many people came in under Biden, right? The number of people it's so many, it's immeasurable. To go after them with agents and arrest them and process them and send them back and do all the things that you would do that way costs a lot of fucking money per person.
It does, but I also kind of agree with what you said in the past, kind of give them some incentive to leave on their own and then maybe try to come back the right way. But, I mean, they do need to ramp up on both deportation, and if they're going to incentivize these fuckers to get out of our country on their own, ramp that up too.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying they need to do. Like, going after
So
people.
right now, Honda, there is a $5,000 reward for you self-deporting. And then when you go to reapply for citizenship, because you self-deported, you will be put immediately to the front of the line.
Right. And that's the way that it needs to be, and that needs to be well known. And if we catch you with criminal charges or a DUI and we arrest you and deport you, guess what? You never get to come back. There's no way, there's no path at that point. Sorry.
I know that too.
So that needs to be made clear. My issue is the optics of it, because I know, as you guys do, how the media is and how they will portray them. And if they go hard as they have, then the media is going to lie about it as they have, which is going to piss people off as it has, which is going to get them to go out in the streets as they are, to fight against the people who are doing the deportations as they are, which is going to lead to people getting killed as it has, which is exactly what I said before Trump even got into office. And the more of that they do, the more of this they're going to get. So I like being right. I think I've been proven 1,000% correct as to my thinking and predictions about how this would go. Anyway, go ahead.
Even if they do it the way, you want it, or I want it, or we both want it, whatever, they could do it as right could be. The left's still going to find a way to fucking get out there in the streets, bitch, moaning, and fucking take shit to the violent extreme because they can't help it, because they are the terrorists of the country, and no one's willing to fucking do anything about it. But it's like a lose-lose situation no matter what's done.
I look at it more like a game of chess, right? Like, I move my knight forward, you're going to take him with your pawn. Maybe I shouldn't move my knight forward then. Like, that's what I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
Like, we should think of a different move, because the move that they're making is going to cause a reaction that's going to get our knight taken. And that's not a good thing. Like, we want to win the game of chess against this opponent. You got to think of your move strategically. And just saying, like, oh, we want the king go straight for them. What happens if you do that in chess? It's obvious. Your attacks are predictable, subverted, sidestepped, and then you lose. You gotta play chess like a chess player, and like, they're pretty good at playing chess, I gotta admit.
Yeah. I remember when they used to say Trump was, he's playing 4D chess with everybody. I want to see that actually happen, but he's not. He's just fucking he's just playing checkers.
He seems tired these days, does he not?
Yes.
Do you think he's got some kind of health thing going on?
No, I think he's dealing with a lot. I mean, we just stole a president We're still dealing with Israel and Palestine. We're still dealing with Ukraine. We're still trying to get Greenland. And after all that,
No,
we still
wait.
got to mess with, and we still got to deal with this immigrant problem in
I
white
think
liberals.
you're mistaking Trump with Marco Rubio, who has been the one all those responsibilities have been placed upon. Which I don't know if you guys watched Marco Rubio's face when Trump was like, "Oh yes, and for now, all the things going on with Venezuela will be going through Mark." Yeah, the look on his face was like, "What? Please, no, God, no!"
Right. And also, we still got Europe that's against us and want to place like 20 troops in Greenland, and they on the agenda with the
No, we're gonna.
Democrats, and we still got to deal
Trump's
with
gonna.
China and Russia also. So yeah,
Trump's
there's a
gonna
lot
go up
going on with
until.
Trump. Hold on. Like, there's a lot going on with Trump. So it's like he got a lot on his plate that he's dealing with, and and trying to get all these things in line at once. Yeah, like some stuff is going to fall through the cracks, and he might not be as quick on one thing as he is on another. That's why when it seems like Trump is going slow on like this or that, it's like like, man, what can he do when he have all this on his plate?
Right, he is fucking swamped. That's for damn sure. He's got more on his plate than one person should deal with in a lifetime, and he's expected to have all the fucking answers because he is president. He's supposed to expect to know what to do, how to do it, amicably, to where if he's in so many. I mean, I would hate to be in his position right now.
Well, this is the problem when you pick ineffective AGs like Pam Bondi. He could have had such a better person in there as Attorney General that could have been actually doing shit at this point. And I hear all these people now that are like, "Oh, well, they're just building cases." It's like, dude, you have more than enough video evidence to arrest these people and charge them with pretty much the death penalty at this point in a lot of cases. Fucking do it already.
And that's where Trump needs to stop listening to so many stupid people and either force these fucking people like Pam Bondi, Marco Rubio, whomever, to do their job, or he's going to replace them immediately.
If gaslighting journalists start getting 10-year sentences, then I will start advocating for Trump's third term.
Right.
If
honestly, I'm with you.
Gets deported. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm with you. I mean, my ancestors wrote a whole book about how bad it is to have multi-term officials, but under these circumstances, these special circumstances.
Well, shit. I mean, that's part of the problem, obviously, is that we've got these career politicians who spend 50 years in fucking office, and like
getting rich.
They get compromised somewhat early on because otherwise you don't get into power, because that's the way things work in America, is unless they have dirt on you, unless you make your bones kind of like the mafia, then you don't get to a position like fucking senator. Sorry. So as far as I'm concerned, and I wouldn't say it's every senator, but most every senator probably has either been to the island or has some sort of financial shit that they need to keep secret, or whatever the case is.
Or
there's some sort of dirt. There's a level of dirt.
And therefore they are controlled, and therefore they are not actually working for the people who voted for them, or even the American people. They're working for the corporation. They're working for the deep state. They're working for the agenda. They're not doing what's right, short term or long term, for what's good for for our country specifically, or for our people specifically, because these people are globalists. The people in charge, the people that have the dirt, I should say, of the people on the people in charge, are globalists, and they have a globalist agenda, and that means America not first. America's in there, I guess, but it would really behoove them if America had, a lot more third worlders in it, and a lot less power, and a lot less influence, and a lot more turmoil. And their dollar was worth a lot less. Like, all of those things are fantastic for the world agenda of one world government. And it's not even one world government the way they want it set up. If you look into it, they kind of want it in like a couple different kingdoms, and like everything's put together where a small council of people is in control. And you know who's in charge of that? If you look into it, and this is the real fucking gay frog chat fucking tinfoil hat shit we're getting into now, boys, just so you know.
Oh yeah.
Rothschild.
Sounds accurate.
Well, wouldn't it be all the Bilderberg families? From
See,
Rothschild,
I
Rockefeller,
think the
Soros,
Rothschild's
Rothschild
family crest. I think the Rothschild's family crest has actually been mistaken as the flying spaghetti monster.
I don't know about that, but the Rothschild family are the ones who control the Bank of England. The Rothschild family are the ones who spread the Bank of England to Germany, to the United States, to France, to Italy, to all over, to China, to Japan, to every single country that has a central bank. If the central bank is not part of their cabal, it's not allowed to exist. You know how many countries have central banks? I can't think of one that doesn't.
Garden Snake is in the chat.
So yeah, it's been so many generations since the Bank of England was taken over by the Rothschild family. It was during the Napoleonic Wars, right? So if you guys don't know what happened, Napoleon was fighting England, and in this decisive battle, I can't remember the name of it. It was Waterloo or something like that. I can't remember. It was a very decisive battle between England and France. And at the time, the Rothschild family and the Bank of England were able to cross both lines. Like the Rothschild family specifically were able to cross battle lines because they were funding both sides. They were funding Napoleon and they were funding the Bank of England, right? And because they funded these armies, when their courier came through, they were let through without question. So this battle happens, and it becomes pretty decisively so that England is going to win. And so Rothschild sends their courier back to England to talk to, I forget the name of the banker. I think it's Chase Morgan, which is where you get that bank from. JP Morgan Chase, excuse me. Anyway, they send word back to England that in fact England has won. And what does JP Morgan do? He goes to all of the investors on the equivalent of Wall Street in London and says, we just got word back. England has lost. Napoleon has won. And so everybody was like, fuck. Sell the war bonds, because everybody bought war bonds because you were in war, so you got to buy war bonds to fund the war. And if you win the war, then your war bonds get paid back. If you lose the war, your war bonds are worth nothing. Shit, we lost. Sell the war bonds. Pennies on the dollar. I don't care. Fucking 5 cents on the dollar. As long as I get something. Because if I wait long enough and we find out for definitively that England's lost, then I get nothing. Oh, we won? Oh, I already sold my war bonds for 5 cents on the dollar. Who bought them? Oh, the guy who said that we lost, JP Morgan, bought all of them because he had brokers who were secretly going out into the crowds of people who were frantically trying to sell their war bonds and quietly buying them up again for pennies on the dollar, which meant that at the end of that, JP Morgan, who worked for Rothschild, owned the majority share of the Bank of England at the end of the Napoleonic War. Fast forward to today. How much wealth do you think they have? Do you think Elon Musk is really the richest person in the world? Do you really think that?
He's the richest that will
They've
let
been
us
earning
know
5%
about.
since Napoleon on the Bank of England. You dumb fucks. Sorry.
Elon Musk is the one with the most taxable earnable income every year.
Right. Yeah, because that other income is spread out through multiple families. It's not just one person. That's why.
Right. But they all, when push comes to shove, those families unite.
Right.
When they are threatened, they work together. And they control, again, just about every single fucking country's central bank. They control the World Bank. And, there's the people out there like, oh, Jewish conspiracy, it's the Jews. And it's like, well, there's one Jew, and his name is Rothschild, that if you pointed to him and said, it's the Jew, that guy, I would agree with you. If you say it's the Jews, like all of them, or, even the ones in finance, like, no, dude.
And Soros, if you say that Jew.
Well, who's Soros work for?
The Rothschild.
He works for the world agenda, for this world government agenda. He works for it because, like, if it's a chessboard, he's an important piece. He's like a rook, he's a bishop. But he's not the king.
No.
So there you go. That's your tinfoil hattage for today.
Interesting side note about JP Morgan. He and Milton Hershey were both supposed to be on the Titanic, and they got word at the last minute to not go on the boat.
They all did. That's why only some of them went down with
That's
it.
not even the wacky part. That's not even the wacky part of the Titanic conspiracy. When they set out to sail, there was already a full engine room fire.
I don't know
But
if you're breaking up.
Yeah, you're a bit of a robot right now.
Yeah.
But yes, I have heard the conspiracy of.
You hear me better now?
No, you're still kind of robot.
Try again.
The Titanic wasn't Titanic.
Oh, which one? They're trying to silence you. They're silencing you.
You're in a bad spot or something, man. It's real bad. Yeah, I don't know, man. I have heard the Titanic thing, though, for sure, about how the richest, most powerful people who were against creating the American central bank were all on that boat when it sank, and women and children first, and they didn't have enough boats. I don't know if that's true or not, but coincidentally, it's true.
You know what? They would have put them on a boat anyway, even if they was on the Titanic.
Right.
They would have gotten a boat.
Bro is Wally. You did sound a bit like Wally. Wally.
Who was that talking, by the way?
What's that?
I said, who was that talking, by the way? That was roboting.
Which?
Dude from Tim Pool Discord.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I go in there sometimes and say what's up. Actually, I go in there sometimes and yell at everybody is what I do. Because I go in there and I start listening to what they're talking about, and someone says something fucking retarded, and I'm just like, God fucking damn it, shut the fuck up.
Like one of Tim Pool's liberal guests, he will have on.
I think it's a good thing to have a liberal guest on, because it exposes them for having bad arguments, right? If you have a liberal guest on and they come on and they say the headline thing that works with all the liberals, and you say, wait, hold on, let's dig into that a little bit, explain this part, look this up, whatever the argument is. And usually they haven't done it. Usually they haven't done the work behind the statement to know the facts, right? Because think about the ICE agent shooting that chick who tried to run him over, and having misunderstandings about the law, how the law works of self-defense, having misunderstandings about the role of ICE agents and what their rights are as actual federal police officers. And they like say like, oh, well, they're not even police, right?
Which
So
they
there's
are.
that misunderstanding. They misunderstand like the preconditions of what led up to the shooting. Like, what was that person doing there? Oh, she was just letting people by. See, she was waving people by. Okay, back up 5 minutes and watch 5 minutes from before and tell me what she was doing there. So that's different. So all your presuppositions are incorrect. All of your assumptions about the laws are incorrect. All of your assumptions about how that applies to the situation are incorrect. And you're going to give me an opinion like, like here's what the mainstream media said, and that's the talking point. Well, it falls apart when you dig into it. And so when you have these liberal people on your show, what you do is hear their arguments, and then rather than gaslight them back or attack them, what you do is you dig into them and you expose their arguments for being bullshit. And sometimes they don't let you. Sometimes they Yankee Marshal you, right? And they don't let you speak, and you can't fucking make your argument, and you can't think because you're being attacked, and it makes it emotional, which shuts down your brain, and that's a tactic. And a lot of them, they don't have arguments; they have tactics. They're good at having the debate without showing up with notes. You know what I mean? Like they can just show up for a debate with no notes about anything and just attack and fucking sidestep and judo fucking their way through it, because those are all techniques that they can use during a debate while not actually having any facts on their side, which is disingenuous. It makes their argument that much more bullshit because people will hear it and they'll think like, wow, that guy's smart. I want to be like him. I want to agree with his arguments, when he doesn't even agree with his arguments. He's just making them because he knows that he's going to win when he does. What Honda is saying is he really wants a Yankee back. No, man, I don't want to argue with Yankee again, bro. Like, I'll make a video about Yankee. Like, if Yankee has like some video that he comes out with is just fucking ridiculous, I'll watch it and do commentary on it and tell everybody, here's the counter argument, here's your presupposition that's wrong, here's an argument against what you're saying, etc., etc.
I think that might have been one of the single most disingenuous arguers I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, and that, I mean, he's known for it too. He's known to be like, oh, you want to have an argument with Yankee? Well, you're just gonna fucking you're not gonna have an argument. I know that. You're not gonna have a debate, certainly. Nothing near a debate. Like if you want to like yell at your stepmom for an hour and a half, like bang your head against the wall. I did watch his stream the other day. He did a stream the other day that I watched where I was trying to get him to acknowledge my question about the Somalian fraud in Minnesota. Because, okay, here's how I look at what is happening in Minnesota right now. This guy goes to Minnesota and makes a video about Somalian fraud, right? Everyone gets upset about it, starts looking into it. Turns out there's something there. Suddenly, Tim Walz is not running for governor anymore. He's dropping out of the governor's race. Okay, that's weird. Fair enough. Now we've got ICE agents and federal agents in Minnesota who are looking into these businesses and to these people and starting to make arrests, to which Tim Walz goes on TV and says, oh my God, the federal government's trying to fight Minnesota and we got to protect our people, and all the things that he said, to which people went out on the streets and then started fighting against ICE, and then that chick got shot, and now we're where we're at, which started with, and it started with the Somalians doing fraud, right? But then it started with the guy going and doing the fucking news report. So we're kind of here because a guy did a news report. But if you don't know all of those things, then it just looks like Trump sending in jackbooted thugs to Minnesota to arrest Somalians because he's racist, right? Like that's how they spin shit. And it's obvious once you know it. It's obvious once you see it. And if you're on the other side of it, like Go ahead.
Have you stopped to consider where they are getting the list of names for these undocumented immigrants? Perhaps maybe they're going through the sexual offenders list and all of these different pieces of shit first, and hence why every single person that they've been arresting so far is some sort of pedophile.
I mean, certainly a lot of the people who've been arrested so far are like the worst offenders. And like again, that's what the Trump administration promised or talked about doing when they were running this time is, hey, we're going to go after the illegal immigrants, but we're going to go after the worst criminals first. Like, good. That's what we voted for. Good. Go after those people. Get rid of them. And it's amazing that there's Karens out in the street obstructing that. Well, like there's a video of them literally arresting a pedophile, arresting an illegal immigrant who raped a little girl in this country, right? And Karen's in the street standing in front of the ICE vehicle trying to obstruct it because that's what Don Lemon told her to do. It's insane.
Do you have in your lineup of YouTube shorts the YouTube short of the ICE agent going, you guys realize you're protecting a pedophile? That's who we're here to arrest?
Yeah, I think that's what I was just talking about. I don't know if I have that in here. You know, and the other funny thing to me going on right now is congruently in Iran, what's happening, right? So you've got protests against, quote unquote, a fascist regime in the United States. You've got protests against a fascist regime in Iran. In America, you've got illegal immigrants being arrested. 75% of them have previous charges, 25% do not. I would like to see that number go higher, but that's where it's at. You've got Karens and Dougs getting arrested because they're standing in front of ICE vehicles. And you even had a child go to the hospital because they shot a vehicle with tear gas and a lady got shot in the face and got killed, right? Oh my God, America's out of control. Okay. Congruently, at the same time, let's fast forward, not even fast forward, let's jump over to Iran. What's happening in Iran? Oh, you've got protesters in the streets. Okay, that's kind of the same. What's the government doing about it? They're machine gunning them down by the tens of thousands. That's a little bit different. They're going into the hospitals where the injured protesters have gone to get treated, to arrest the people, to take them and hang them. Because if you get arrested for protesting, the punishment is you get hung, right? Oh, my father got shot because he was at the protest. Well, do you want his body back? Yes, I would like my father's body back who got shot at the protest. Okay, you can have the body back, but you have to pay us for every bullet that we put in him. We shot him 5 times. We're charging $1,000 per bullet. You got $5,000. We'll give you your father back. This is what's happening in Iran, an actual fascist regime that's dealing with protesters. Not in America where it's a pseudo-fascist regime where they are LARPing like they're fighting against a fascist regime. Because if they actually were, they wouldn't be getting in ICE agents' faces. They wouldn't be getting in front of their cars. They wouldn't be doing any of the things that they're doing because they would be terrified of doing it. And it's just funny because you won't see a single leftist person talking about Iran right now. A country that is more oppressive to women than just about any other country in the world. Where are the feminists in this country talking about the women of Iran who were oppressed? Silence, crickets. You've got protesters being murdered in the street by the tens of thousands. Where are the people who are chanting and raving out in the streets about Nicole Good? Won't even mention it. Like, I'm not saying you should go to Iran and fucking protest, but you won't even mention it. It's not in your feed. It's not even in your fucking thinking at all. So there's that. I mean, there's just so much going on right now that's like, and it's fooling so many people. That's the thing. It's fooling so many, especially young people. And I thought a lot of the young people were kind of on our side, but I'm not so sure anymore. I think that the wool they don't have enough experience in life to know what's real and what's not. And when they see what's going on with Trump and people fighting against it, their instinct is, well, shit, man, like I'm not getting anywhere and the economy's not great. And, like AI is about to take over, so I'll never get a job. And, like all this shit. And I want to fight against it. I want to I want to shake the board. So maybe I'll end up on top somehow. Who's shaking the board? Antifa, Black Lives Matter, like these anti-ICE protesters, whatever you want to call them. And so that's who they're joining. And I don't think everybody, I mean, there's a fair amount of them that see what's going on. But man, it's fooling a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I knew this would happen. I told you guys this would happen. Anyway.
A lot of that's news to me. I didn't know all that shit was going on in Iran or anything like that.
Tens of thousands. I think it was something like 15,000 people got machine gunned in the street, and now they're hanging everybody that they've arrested.
That's insane.
Yep.
They also turned off the internet.
Yep.
So they have a complete blackout of the internet in the entire country. The only people who have internet in the entire country have Starlink. Again, it's Elon Musk. Like, you know what I mean? Like the sides are so clear to me.
You think Elon would shut their Starlinks off?
Man.
You know what? I came across some young people that are shockingly quite conservative, especially at my new job. I remember one thought I was liberal, and he was like, I don't mean to offend, but these liberals are fucking crazy. I was like, damn, okay. No offense here.
Right.
See, here's another one. Keith Porter Jr. was a father of two, a son and a brother, whose life was stolen by an off-duty ICE agent. His family gathered in grief, demanding the truth. We will continue to stand with Keith Porter Jr.'s family until there is justice, transparency, and answers. Does anyone know what actually happened here?
No.
I do.
Yeah.
So Mr. Keith Porter Jr. here on New Year's went outside with his AR-15 and was shooting rounds into the air. Right?
What a fucking idiot.
Off-duty ICE agent sees this dude shooting his gun in the air, draws his gun, and tells him to stop and to put the weapon down. Keith Porter Jr., do you think he put the weapon down?
No, that'd be too easy.
No, he forced the guy to shoot him. I don't think he wanted to shoot him. But if you draw a gun on a person, you say drop the weapon, and then they point the weapon at you, at that point it's you or them.
Yeah.
And they made that choice.
I think he shot off like 3 rounds at him before he returned fire. Something like that.
That's what you say. Fuck around and find out,
So so it turns out the black man murdered by ICE was actually illegally mag dumping his AR-15 on New Year's to celebrate, and then turned his rifle on the agent after order to drop it. Literally every single time turns out to be hoaxes. It's just a lie. So everyone sees this fucking headline with all of these people with candles and they're hugging each other and sad and and he's a father of 2 and a brother whose life was stolen by ICE. How dare you, ICE? Again, you're out there murdering black people. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Why do you think we are where we're at? It's because
zero accountability.
It's because, partially anyway, the media are the enemy of the people. They're gaslighting, they're lying, they're leaving out context, they're framing things in a certain kind of way. They're doing everything that they can to make people lean a certain direction and the thing is, it's backfired on them quite a bit because there's a lot of people who perhaps believed them at one point, were led down the pathway by them at one point, and then looked around and figured out that, like, oh, you've been lying this whole time. And like, once you do that, it's like, man, there's no going back. Once you see that shit, there's no going back. And I again, you have to get to your own point with that. Like, no one can do it for you. You have to get to that point yourself of realization. And if your brother, your sister, your mother, your cousin, whoever isn't there, you can't force them. There's no magic spell there's no argument that you can make that's going to get them there. They have to get there themselves. And that kind of means like hitting rock bottom with this shit,
Right.
Unfortunately, it might be too late for some people.
Yeah.
What up, Let On Steel?
What's up, fellers?
You.
What's up, bud?
Not much.
Why doesn't Trump go after the media? Well, the thing about the media is, and the way that they frame things and the way that they speak about things, they're always very careful in the word craft that they use to not actually break the law. Like, they will insinuate to people that they should commit violence without actually directly calling for it. They know where the line is, and they don't cross it. And in this country, you've got the First Amendment, which gives media protections. So there's like that extra level there. So basically, if you're really good at gaslighting and lying and framing and doing all these things, you'd be really good at media today versus back in the day. Like, Walter Cronkite got on TV and talked about a political thing, and I didn't know where Walter Cronkite stood. I didn't know if Walter Cronkite liked or didn't like the president. I didn't know if Walter Cronkite did or did not like the bill that he was talking about. He was reporting on the facts. And back then, and it was right around 2001 when they switched things. But back then, you could listen to the news and they would just tell you the facts. And now you listen to the news and they tell you what to think.
Who was that one journalist, probably about a decade or so ago, that actually got fired because of all the stories that he said he reported on and being boots on the ground? He actually lied like he was at some kind of war zone, but he really wasn't.
Oh, who was that? I can't remember. I thought you were talking about Stelter for a second, but
Oh no, I wish. Yeah, that fuck that so much. No, but this was long ago. I can't remember his name. I figured Ohio would know it.
Wasn't it Brian Williams?
No.
I thought it was Brian Williams from NBC. He lied about being in a helicopter attack and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, maybe that's his name. Yeah, because there was something about that.
Like his helicopter was hit by a missile or RPG or something.
yep, there you go. You're correct. Brian Williams, the former NBC nightly news anchor,
Oh, okay.
did falsely claim that he was aboard a U.S. military helicopter that was shot down by enemy fire during the 2003 invasion of Iraq. What
Yeah,
a
I knew it's been a
faggot.
while. Just trying to get clout.
Dude, I used to work with this guy named Dean who was in the fucking Vietnam War. And according to Dean, he was in 3 helicopter crashes. And 2 of them, he was the only survivor.
Damn.
And I believe Dean. I actually do believe Dean. Because one day we were at work and someone dropped a plate and it made this huge fucking crash bang sound. And Dean hit the ground like fucking Charlie was after him. So I believe
Yeah,
it.
it usually is an indicator of someone selling the truth.
There was a guy that used to come to the bar / restaurant I worked at in high school, and he had stories about Vietnam. And somebody finally come up and said, what is he telling all you guys? And we were telling him, oh, he's telling us Vietnam stories. And they're like, he never went to Vietnam. He's just high. He got high on acid and listened to all his brother's stories, and now he thinks he went to Vietnam.
Well, isn't this a thing that's going on YouTube now, where all these former soldiers are claiming stuff that they did, but they didn't.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
There's a lot of that going on. Oh,
Yeah.
what was that one
So-
MMA one
Tim Kennedy.
USC fight?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, Tim Kennedy.
Stolen valor.
Yep.
Well, it's not really stolen valor per se. It's just like
No,
Embellish.
it is,
trying to
because
make
it
it
was
look like you're
something
better than you are.
didn't do.
Oh, let's go, big boy. Let's go. Let's see what he does. What do you guys think? Is he going to hit it hard, or is he going to like fall down, or like hit his hand or something? Is he going to punch
Break his
a
wrist.
lady walking by? Is there
Bust
going to
his
be a
ass.
bird that flies in between his fist and the fucking the thing?
Yep. Bust his ass.
Yeah, damn. I don't think I want to get punched. It's a big boy.
Oh, he did it. Okay.
Yeah,
That's a
so
big
he just,
boy.
but damn, that wine stuff, you got plenty of time to hit him.
Right.
Uh-oh, can't watch that on YouTube.
No,
There are a
keep
lot of
scrolling.
those videos, though, of those punch machines where we just break their hands on them.
Greenland is trolling the U.S.
They're just jealous they don't have fentanyl.
That's fucking hilarious.
That's how you stand if you wear Rick Owens collection. So that's a new thing. You have to stand like that.
I mean, you're just on heroin, right? That's what it actually means. You're
Heroin,
on fentanyl.
fentanyl. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a new meme going around. Like if you wear Rick Owens, that's how you stand. Like I have on Rick Owens. I made my own sweater.
Okay, it says the longer you watch this, the worse it gets.
I am going to head out. You guys have a good night.
Yeah, man, later. So we got a burning box for some reason.
When I first heard that other guy that just left talk, I thought it was Ray Ray there for a second.
Man, talk about out of sight, out of mind.
Why is everything on fire? Why won't he put it out?
Why don't you take it all the way at the end of the hall?
This is 5x speed too. Oh my god, it's catching the walls on fire.
Yeah, that'll do it.
What is happening?
4683 North Brighton, we need a fire department. 4683 North Brighton Court, fire. Yeah, 4683.
Yep, you're fucked.
Get out. Everybody out.
Oh my god.
Jennifer! Jennifer, get out!
That makes me nervous. I live in an apartment. I know I wouldn't burn the place down, but if you have like 1 minute to grab your shit, what are you grabbing?
My gun case.
Dude, I couldn't pick mine up. It's too heavy.
I'm about to order a new safe for my guns too.
I'm grabbing like my 3 most expensive guns and my fucking computer.
I'll get my little bitty safe that's got a lot of my business stuff in it.
I'd be grabbing all my dogs and then my guns.
I'll let my computer burn, so it can burn my history.
I'd be smart enough to grab a fire extinguisher and put the motherfucker out.
I'll
Well, I
burn my
mean-
search history.
Let's say like you wake up and it's too late to put it out. You know what I mean?
Yes. Full
Yeah.
in goal.
Somalis are filming ISIS-style execution videos in central London. This video is from Twitch streamer whoever group filming a staged. Okay, that's fake.
I guess the cops don't think it's fake. They're gonna cover it.
All right, boys. Well, it's getting to be about that time. What do you guys think? Got anything else to add before we go?
Did you guys see the new Glock 17 mag? That's a 20 rounder. It's a
Sure
flush fit. It
did.
was shown at SHOT Show this year.
Yep.
No, I haven't seen any of the SHOT Show
Looks pretty cool.
stuff. I haven't
Apparently,
seen
I
any of the
guess
SHOT Show stuff yet.
RIA is also making a foldable shotgun now.
Yep. I was just looking at that folding shotgun.
Why would you get your oven in the middle of a fire? Everything's on fire. You got 1 minute to grab stuff. Jake the Garden Snake's grabbing his oven.
Hey, he spent good money on that upgrade, man. He don't want to go there.
Did you get like that nice fucking Whirlpool one or whatever?
I'll grab my George Foreman grill.
I mean, you will need to cook later.
Well, everything's gonna be cooked, so you just go
That's
back
true.
in and grab it.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching the show. Deuces, y'all. Shall not pee in fridge. Trooper to shop and not to pressure. Batacath care. Prick the troops. 2 words. Made in America. And we'll see y'all next time. Deuces.
Bye.